Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to another of my end of season waffles. A quick reminder, these are not season reviews or anything like that. They are just short videos where I give a few of my thoughts on how each team and driver got on in 2022. And for this one, it's the turn of Alfa Romeo. And you know, there are a few teams this season you could argue had a year of two halves, and Alfa are one of the top examples of that. Thanks to being one of the few, perhaps the only team to get their car down to the minimum weight limit, that helped them early on and they managed to score some pretty consistent, decent points across the opening races. However, as other teams shed the weight and poor development into their cars, Alfa began to fall away and despite what seemed like a late resurgence, struggled to match that early season form. In fact, across the opening 11 race weekends, so the first half of the season, they picked up 51 points. Yet in the second half of the season, they managed to grab just 4. So yeah, I think season of two halves is a fair assessment. DNFs hit them hard this year, it must be said as well, with a total of 12 across their two drivers and 8 of those were due to reliability. Some of those were power unit related, so that's largely on Ferrari, but it still hurt them this year and it does feel like they would have been well clear of Aston had they not suffered quite so much, especially in the first half of the season. Valtteri Bottas picked up the majority of those points and has had a very good season. But that's no great surprise to me. For all the criticism I've given him in the past, I've always said that if he gets himself in a midfield team, he'd grab it by the scruff of the neck, lead it and perform well. And here we are. 49 points on the board and a top 10 finish in the Drivers' Championship. He also managed 10 points finishes. That does include sprint races, by the way, and it could have been more without the reliability issues he suffered at times. 4 of his 6 retirements were caused by mechanical problems. He did also pull off some surprisingly strong qualifying results, not least at the season opener in Bahrain, where he outqualified his replacement at Mercedes, George Russell, and lined up right behind his former teammate Lewis Hamilton. His averages are solid as well, with an average qualifying result of 11.7 and race finish of 9.8, scoring again on average 2.1 points per race. He also managed to beat his teammate in both of their head-to-heads, perhaps not a total surprise given his F1 experience. I guess my overarching point here is all in all a strong season for Bottas, but I have to admit, I am very surprised given how the pace of the car dropped off as the season went on that he was able to cling on to a top 10 finish in the standings. I mean, I say cling on, he was a decent 12 points clear of Ricciardo and Vettel behind. As for his teammate Zhou, Guanyu, he's an interesting one for me. Yes, he has been well beaten by Bottas in terms of points and lost out in the qualifying and race head-to-heads, but he has shown steady improvement consistently over the course of the season. So with that in mind, a contract extension seemed the right way to go by Alfa. Don't get me wrong, he's not been amazing, not by a long stretch, but he's not been completely awful, which a lot of people thought he would be at the start of the year. Absolutely, he needs to take a big step forwards in 2023 because although he has shown improvement, he has also only managed 3 points finishes and ended the season with a total of just 6 points. The team did hang on in the end, but that could easily have cost them P6 in the Constructors' Championship and with it, a lot of money. As for his averages, he managed 14.4 in qualifying, but was stronger on race day with an average of 12.7. He did, though, only have a points per race average for the season of 0.3. In his defence, though, he did, like his teammate, get hit with a fair few reliability problems, and they sometimes came when he was running in strong, potentially point-scoring positions. And who knows what he might have achieved from, for example, 9th on the grid at Silverstone. As it was, he was sent barrel rolling into the catch fencing at turn 1 by George Russell. My point being, I probably should cut him some slack because he didn't have the best of luck at times this year. To counter that, though, neither did his teammate. So whilst his tally may have been higher, he probably wouldn't have been much, if any, closer to Bottas. To summarise all of that then, overall I think Alfa Romeo will be very happy with their season, and rightly so. It is the Sauber team's best championship finish since 2012, and although I'm sure they'd have liked to have had a more competitive second half of the year, they've made some excellent progress and the future is looking very bright for the team. Bottas was without doubt the stronger of the two drivers, but Zhou, as I've already said, does seem to be moving in the right direction. He absolutely can't afford to be beaten that comprehensively again next year by Bottas though, and he's got to keep improving. For Valtteri, he's just got to keep doing what he's been doing, leading that team and performing consistently. And if he does do that, perhaps he will be there for the full Audi takeover in 2026, and that could be a very exciting place to be. I've been quietly impressed with Alfa and Bottas this year, and it's nice to be able to say that in this video. That is it then for this end of season waffle, but don't forget you can let me know how you think Alfa Romeo got on in 2022 in the comment section down below. Now, I will be back soon with another of these videos, but in the meantime, if you did enjoy this one, then please do leave a like, as it really does help the channel out, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos or streams. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.